All right, Harry, you can go ahead and get started.
All right, thanks, Kiki. Welcome, everybody. So good to see everyone, especially familiar faces. So cool to see you, Benny, from my Sangha, one of my Sanghas. And let's see, who did I see? I think Allison and Eric and Maxine. Yeah, so wonderful to see you all. And if I haven't met you, it's a pleasure to meet you as well. So let's just get down to business because we only got an hour. I appreciate you taking your time out of your lunch schedule. Just for context, basically I'll um, guide a brief practice sit for about maybe 20-ish plus minutes, and then I'll say some words about that and about my practice in general. Hopefully it has some relevance to you and your life and your practice. That'll be another 10-ish, 15 minutes. And then we can leave it open for some Q&A or discussion if there are any. And then we'll close with a brief practice of sending merit out towards the universe. So, hope that's a good agenda for everyone. Um, and then just a note on my meditation style, just because I feel like sometimes it helps for people to know what they're getting into. I like to provide a little bit of light guidance. So not total silence, but also not talking all the way through. So I'll set it up in the beginning, especially for to help ground and settle everyone. And then I'll kind of space it out after a while and occasionally offer some reminders to be in the moment. Yeah. Okay. So that feels about right. And one thing people who have sat with me before know that I like to do it sort of in the Dharma Homies style, which is to be really nice and easy about it. Really trying to emphasize the continuity of practice and that meditation does not always have to start once the bell rings and then stop when the bell rings again. So let's just ease into it. Sit back, orient yourself to your space. If at any point anything I say is not helpful and you find it distracting, please feel welcome to just tune me out. And if it's helpful, you might want to take note of any visual cues or objects that seem grounding that you could use as a resource potentially if you become distracted or overwhelmed in any way. I like how the sun falls on my houseplants. And I always like to offer options. You're always welcome to opt in or opt out to any part of this. But if it feels supportive, you can start to lower the gaze. And the eyes don't have to be closed.
Hello, Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Nice to meet you.
Welcome, welcome everyone. So also noting that there's always potentially distractions or disruptions or noises or sounds, and that's okay. That's part of the process. We just include them in our field of awareness. Just generally allow for this sense of arriving into this moment. It's okay to put it down, whatever you're holding, just for a moment. It can be helpful to tune into the breath, letting the breath breathe itself naturally. We don't have to make it be a certain way. Breathing in, know that you're breathing in. Breathing out, know that you're breathing out. If the breath doesn't work as an anchor, you can also use sensations of the hands or the feet, feeling the earth or the ground beneath you, letting it ground you. Just taking a few moments to really settle and arrive onto some kind of home base. If the mind feels scattered or all over the place, it's not a problem. It's the human mind doing what it does. This can be a great way to settle. This can be a great place to just be with what is at this moment. The breath, the earth, whatever it is, just make it a practice to keep coming back to it moment to moment. Just asking every now and again, how is it right now? For some, it might feel scattered. For others, it might feel joyful. For some, it might feel stuck. It's all welcome. If there's stuckness, perhaps trying to tune into a sense of expansiveness, feeling out that there's space all around as far as your ears can hear. Whether you're leaning towards grounding or expansive, whatever it is, trying to do it with a sense of ease, kindness to yourself. The attitude matters as well. We don't have to chase after a certain outcome. We're trying to be with whatever is present, building up our capacity to be with it. So even if it's just 1% deeper into your chair, 1% more relaxed in the shoulders, 1% of a slower exhale, What's happening right now in this moment? Maybe with the ease, there can be a sense of curiosity that arises. Just a sense of, there's so much going on in the day right now. We don't often pause to notice all the shades and the colors in the back of our eyelids, how the heart can beat against your t-shirt, how warm this patch of sun on my leg feels. What's happening right now? So you may become more attuned to emotions, feelings, likes, dislikes. We don't have to chase them or grasp them. We can include them as well. What does it feel like to crave lunch right now? How does that feel in the pit of the stomach? What does it feel like to think about the next task at work? Just noting it, thinking is arising, letting it pass. In a minute, we will begin to transition out of practice, but just for the last few moments, see if you can gather some intention to continue and sustain this sense of curiosity throughout the day. When you hear a sound or someone talking, just asking, what is this? What's happening? When you're eating, let your taste buds do the asking. When you're walking, feel the ground with your feet, each step asking, what is this? What's happening? And we can take one last moment to just drop all effort, empty ourselves of any intention or wish, just simply be in this moment, taking one or two last deep breath. And then we can seal our practice with a gesture or a deep breath or a bow. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for practicing. Can everyone hear me okay? Can I maybe see a few thumbs? Okay. All right. So I'm going to now spend maybe 10-ish minutes giving a little brief talk, sharing some thoughts. Let's see. I had intended to compose a really perfect talk last night, but I got home from work and um, Shohei Ohtani was pitching and he was on strikeout number 6, I believe. So I was like, okay, well, there goes the perfect talk. Um, for non-sports fans, it's the World Series and the Dodgers are in it. So when in doubt, as they say, talk about your practice. So that's what I'm gonna go lean on. For me, for my practice, what I've noticed lately is a theme of motivation. Someone recently asked me to write an essay about motivation for practice, and I was teaching that retreat recently last week where um, someone asked the question, a few people asked the question, how to increase motivation or how to deal with lack of motivation in practice and in life in general. That's something I relate to a lot. I really feel that question a lot. Um, yeah, so from a practice perspective, someone was saying he felt stuck and he had been practicing for a while and he just felt like it was not giving him the same benefit that it used to. I've definitely been there. So what do we do with that? I guess it depends, as most things do, on your expectations, right? And here's where it can get a little paradoxical because I feel like often the thing that teachers say is, well, just let go of expectations. Just don't have any. Like, yeah, like it's that easy, right? I mean, we all started practicing for a reason, myself included. So it's hard to just let that go. I mean, why am I doing this in the first place then, right? Well, I have two kind of approaches to this. One would be practical, which is to say, just maybe mix it up, you know, uh, find a new teacher, listen to some new podcasts, read some new books, practice in a different style, check in with your practice, as they say, every few years. Can't remember who said that originally. Yeah, I get it. I mean, you at first you're really motivated and you find someone that you really resonate with, and then after a while, even no matter how brilliant they are, you notice that they're starting to recycle some of their material. Hi. Parts of this talk are possibly recycled, but most of you haven't heard it before, so that's okay. So I think it does help to um, actively foster your curiosity by mixing it up to help motivate you, but also get curious, meaning incline the attitude towards motivation. So this is the classic dilemma. As a therapist, I often have people come in and say, "Oh yeah, I thought about that thing that we said I was going to do, and I just couldn't couldn't motivate to do it." As if the motivation is going to strike like a thunderbolt, right? I mean, maybe sometimes it does, but for me, I rarely find that's the case. So sometimes we do have to nudge it along a little bit. And I have personal examples of this. So if you really knew me, you'd know that I have been that I originally started practicing in a certain style, the Theravada Vipassana Insight style, as many Big Bear teachers do. And at a certain point, I also started to feel a little stuck, and I stopped practicing for a while because I wasn't feeling it. And then for a number of reasons, I noticed the absence of it in my life. I decided, oh, maybe there was some merit to it after all. And I started seeking out practice spaces and communities again. But this time I decided to try to mix it up a little bit. And I decided to try Zen, which is like a different type of meditation practice. Didn't know anything about it, but I was curious. So I went in there and I heard the old koans that every beginner student gets thrown at them. So the original one, the famous one is, does a dog have Buddha nature? Um, I'm not spoiling anything. This is all out there. You can Google it. But yeah, my initial reaction was, yeah, of course, dogs are awesome. Dogs are Buddhas. And the teacher said no. And I said, okay, so I guess the answer is no. And the teacher said, wrong. And I said, okay, wise guy. So the answer must be yes and no. Wrong. I'm like, what is going on here? So neither nor? Wrong. And I'm like, what the hell? Now you're just messing with me. What? And he goes, good. Now go practice with that. And I was like, oh, he got me. What? What do you mean go practice with that? It doesn't make any sense. He had piqued my curiosity, which felt really validating. If I feel like I'm not a know-it-all. I feel like I walk through most of life going, what? What's going on here? You know, especially now, these days with everything, I'm just like, what? What just happened? Are you serious? So I found this practice that not only is curiosity allowed, but it's encouraged. I felt so seen. That's why I've been working with curiosity literally as a practice. If you've noticed in the guidance, I try to incorporate curiosity actively for the reasons that I mentioned before. It works both ways. You can't just wait for curiosity and motivation. You have to sometimes nudge it. So interesting factoid. This is real-time talk. I was kind of cycling through some of the old lunchtime mindfulness talks because, I was just curious, and not that I'm comparing, but I wanted to see what other folks were talking about. And I never, as much as I practice with curiosity, I've never articulated it. I've never known how or why I got to that point. I just felt like it was something I should do. But randomly, as I was clicking through various videos, people were talking about using various things as their meditation object, which I always thought just meant your breath or your feet or whatever. Dave Smith was talking about sila, ethical uh, practice as an object. Um, who was it? Fresh Lev White was talking about sort of love as an object of practice. And I might be taking these out of context. I literally was just clicking through just like an hour ago. Elsie Tran was talking about awareness itself as an object. And I thought, oh, that's what I've been doing. I've been using curiosity as my object. Just like a cool little light bulb moment. But that's like what happens when you mix up the practice. As I said before, or at least I have found that I'm able to draw parallels and synthesize ideas and concepts in a way that I wouldn't have had I just been going tunnel vision. So we have the Zen curiosity with the object-oriented insight practice. Boom. It's like peanut butter and chocolate. Sayadaw Tejaniya, famous, very famous insight teacher, says, ask questions not to get answers, but to strengthen awareness. You don't need to find answers. Simply asking questions awakens awareness. Just in case you thought this was a Zen versus insight thing. That literally just popped in my email box a couple days ago. Thought it was genius. So, okay, that's all good and well, but why curiosity? Because it helps with practice. Okay, but ultimately, why practice, right? I can't answer that obviously for any of you individually because I'm not in your head, but in a sense, I guess you already know why because you're here. And I don't just mean here right now, but I mean in the practice in general. Maybe you do feel stuck in life. Maybe things are going well and you just want to sustain that. Uh, Maybe you don't need practice. Some people, honestly, I have a friend who's just happy all the time. He does not practice at all. God bless him. I'm not one of those. I'm guessing you're not either because you're here. But it's all valid, no matter what your reason is. I would assume that having some ease about whatever it is can be helpful. And that's why I was emphasizing ease as well. It's helped me tremendously. I don't I don't feel like meditation should be something that you have to white knuckle your way through, although some people present it that way. So curiosity really just means openness, willingness to accept what arises in the moment. That's really mindfulness, basically. But also there's a quality of it too, you know. You can't be curious and angry at the same time. I mean, maybe you can, but I can't. I can't picture that, what that looks like. There is an implied sense of ease, not resisting. Not so much why, not so much asking, why am I doing this? Why do I feel this way? Why am I thinking this? Just what is this? What is this experience right now? So practicing to alleviate your suffering. That's a good answer. That's a solid motivation. And I'll close on this for time's sake as my last point. I think for me, and I've witnessed this in others, motivations can shift over time. So maybe you do actually start to achieve some modicum of ease. I, I think that's possible. And I've achieved a little bit of that. I have not eliminated all my suffering, not by any means. I suffer a lot in a lot of different ways, but in certain ways, I have a little bit more ease. And so what happens is I think you can't help but have the circle of awareness start to widen a bit and then even more. So it starts out with just you, but then, naturally you start thinking about your impact on the people around you, your friends and your family and even other people, those people that you don't know, your community, your country, the world. And so openness and non-judgment can help with that. As a therapist, if someone walks in the door, it's so tempting when you first hear their problems to say, well, yeah, you should do this and you should do that and you should leave that person. And I mean, it's often that. Oh dear, I'm judging. Anyway, yeah. So non-judgment, openness, acceptance. This is the way things are. This is the way this person's life is. It doesn't necessarily solve their problems, but it helps me be more present for them, which is something they need anyway. So, what's happening right now with your neighbors? It's likely that some of them are really impacted by this hold on federal food assistance reimbursements. Some of them might be really suffering right now. Some of them might be really anxious about what they're going to eat. What's happening right now in Jamaica, Gaza, right now, like at this moment. So obviously, take your time with that and know your limits and be mindful of your media intake. But if it's available to you, can you at least be curious about that? The Pali word, the Buddha's language for compassion is karuna, and one interpretation of it is called a quivering of the heart. So when you widen that circle of awareness and you keep that heart mind, that heart mirror clean and clear, what gets reflected in that mirror? For me, it's that quiver that I wouldn't always notice when my mind is super busy. And what creates the conditions for that awareness, I have found for me over time has been that open, non-judging curiosity, which began with my wishes to suffer less myself, but now includes everyone. So that's sort of like a cliffhanger. That gets into the heart practices, which I won't get into now because that's a whole other ball of wax, but I think that's a good place to maybe end it for now. Um, yeah. Are you there? Oh, okay. Whew. Oh my God, I just panicked. I'm like, did I just lose everyone halfway in? Oh my God. I'm so grateful to see your faces right now. Oh my gosh. Did folks hear me? Okay. Holy panic attack. Oh my God. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, where are we? Kiki, do I hand it off back to you now?
Uh, that depends. I can. I didn't know if you were opening it up
Oh,
for folks for any sort of Q&A
yeah.
or
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we have maybe a few minutes for any comments or questions. Okay, I'll just read what's in the chat. Thank you, Harry, for authentic and open practice and teaching. Thank you, Sangha and BBRC. Oh, thank you. And that's from Isra. I hope I pronounced that right. Must go now. Bye. Well, no curiosities? It's okay if there's not. Oh, Maxine, thank you. I think you're muted.
So I, because I'm like I've explained to you and Mary and others that have kind of asked me where I have started, and I was more on the spiritual side of practice in the Christianity type setting, but now that I'm kind of getting more of I want to say a formal introductory on how to, and I'm seeing benefits. I mean, of like, I've always been a very spiritual person, so enlightenment kind of comes like daily for me, because I'm always in an aha moment. But I feel almost like I'm proselytizing to people now. And I don't know if that should be something that I should focus in on, or more or less just kind of keep myself grounded, kind of stay in a very humbling space, not to try to press that on to people. But I don't know if if, you know, if you've actually seen or heard of people being so, I guess, so ecstatic for the benefits that they've actually come in to seeing, that they're just like they just want to tell everybody. And I feel like I do, but then I'm hesitant because I'm like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. And should I be reading more books? Things like that. So is it normal? Because I do like the way that Mary was talking during the retreat, which very much helpful. But is it normal to have these for euphoric feelings and then wanting to share it with everybody, but then being hesitant, like almost like a back and forth kind of thing?
Yeah, th thank you so much for the question, Maxine. It's a big question and it's really a good one, and I'll try to answer it in the brief time that we have. I would say yes. First of all, it's absolutely normal. I think everyone who has practiced for a little while has had some kind of honeymoon phase, right, where you just really feel like, oh, this is it. This is what I've been looking for, and yeah, that's great when it happens. You know, people talk about shamatha, which is like this sense of like ease and well-being that and joy even that you want to just spread around. For me, I think I find that what it's really done is help me with my heart. And I'm someone who was raised in a Christian household, and so I don't necessarily see a conflict there anyway. But it definitely helped me increase my ability to show up for people and listen, and feel compassionate for them in a different way. And I feel like I, given the world that we're in right now, I can't ask anyone to do that without knowing fully how that it goes for myself and how that feels for myself. So I think you should find your way with it. I don't want to squelch your joy. I think you should follow your curiosity and um, and um, as keep it grounded and centered in your own experience. And if you do that, I don't think you can go wrong.
Thank you. Okay. That resonates. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maxine. That's a great question. So I think that probably leaves us with just enough time for announcements and such, because I want to make sure everyone gets out of here on time.
Hey everybody, Kiki again, just popping in here. I put the Donna info and Harry's websites again back into the chat. If you're unfamiliar with Donna, it is often translated as generosity, and it's a practice that we have here at Big Bear Retreat Center. BBRC is not tied to a specific lineage, but we embrace the Buddhist practice of Dana or generosity, which is to say that Harry and all of our wonderful teachers come and offer these teachings freely. Then there is this really beautiful practice of reciprocity, where if you are able and capable to offer monetarily, then that is of great benefit as well. So if you feel like you have benefited from this practice, we definitely invite you to check out the information in the chat. There's a Venmo there for Harry, and like I said again, a couple of websites. So that's it from me. I'll send it back to Harry to close us out today.
Thanks, Kiki. So yeah, just in our Sangha, in my Sangha, it's traditional to close out with a dedication of merit. So what that means is we're just going to take a moment to really appreciate any benefit, any goodness that you touched into in our practice today. Just taking a moment to, as a really brief meditation practice, take a breath, recall if you can any moments of insight or wisdom through the discussion or the questions or the practice. And then see if you can just gather that. And if you have a little bit to spare, think about the idea of letting it emanate out towards the people in your life so that they benefit from it as well. They benefit from a kinder, wiser you, the people that you work with, your friends and family. And also, we want to dedicate this to everyone in the world without exception. So I'll hold a hand over my heart as I say, may any benefit that's accrued from our practice be dedicated to all beings everywhere. In particular, we want to dedicate this practice to the most vulnerable among us, those suffering from persecution, dislocation, occupation, anti-Blackness, transphobia, all the intersecting oppressions. May all beings everywhere be at peace and at ease. May all beings be healthy and strong and safe. May all beings be protected from harm inside and out. May all beings know connection and love and joy and peace. May all beings be truly free. And I will close with the great four vows. Sentient beings are numberless. We vow to save them all. Delusions are endless. We vow to cut through them all. The teachings are infinite. We vow to learn them all. The Buddha's way is inconceivable. We vow to attain it. Thank you so much, everyone. I truly appreciate it. Hope to see you on the path somewhere down the line.